Jesus wept. It's almost Christmas again. Festive greetings, horror fans, and welcome to another installment of the Lament Configuration Horror Podcast. My name is Fend. I am one of your hosts, and I'm joined, as always, by your friend of mine, Greg Knox.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.
Very festive. How are you doing, Greg?
Yeah, I'm feeling festive.
You're feeling festive? Good. Festive and horrible festive feelings?
Yeah, both of those, yeah.
Okay, dark festive times. And while we're talking about being dark, we are back and we are darker than Beelzebub's internet search history.
He's surfing on the dark web.
He's been surfing on the dark web.
Very dark web. Darkest of the dark web.
But yeah, I've prepared us a little bit of Christmas poetry.
Oh, okay.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and hooks filled the air. Swung gently like snowflakes, a festive nightmare. No more tears, please, whispered cold pins in the air. A waste of good suffering. Now listen if you dare.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we're back to the 80s with today's show then, Greg, and some Section 3 video nasty.
Yes, so we have one Section 3 video nasty, which is based around Christmas, which is one of the maybe the best Christmas slasher films that there is. But there were no other Section 3 video nasties based around Christmas. So we've been a little bit creative with kind of the other film that we've picked on the show, but won't spoil that for right now. Yeah, before we continue, Rhea has our usual warning about spoilers and graphic content and other tomfoolery.
Yes. So, warning, we are uncensored, unscripted, unrelenting, spoilerific with graphic, gory, and adult content. Death shock, and yeah, all the trigger warnings for everybody here.
Yeah, especially spoilers. Spoilers is kind of the key one because, we don't fuck around with spoilers. We'll talk about basically the whole film. So if you haven't watched the film, it's a good idea to watch it and then come back.
Yeah.
So, be warned.
Unless you're not bothered, in which case, allow us to watch it for you and give you a summary.
Yeah, sure. But before that, for the last time in 2025, we are going to talk about films that we have watched in cinemas or not in cinemas, as the case may be. And it's actually both of us. So I have been doing a lot of catching up.
Excellent.
No spoilers, but we have kind of watched some films that have come out recently, two quite big ones, I would say. So the first one was not released in cinema. Well, it was released in some cinemas, wasn't it?
Yeah, I managed to catch a cinema viewing, which was great. So
that's the new adaptation of Frankenstein, directed by Guillermo del Toro. And so, Rhea, what did you think of this?
I actually really liked it. I have since spoken to, we haven't talked about it just yet because we saved it for the podcast, but I've since spoken to a couple of people who didn't really like it. And I have to say, I think maybe this is one for the girls because Jacob Elordi as a monster, quite appealing really. So that might be why I like it. But overall, thought it was gory, violent, shocking, beautifully shot. Love Del Toro's work. A little bit long, but you expect that from Del Toro. And maybe a few too many Victors.
Yeah, a lot of Victor. A lot of that kind in there, yeah.
What were your feelings on it? I've been waiting to hear this.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings. Like, I don't hate it or anything. Like, I think it's pretty good. The issues I have with it, to kind of condense kind of my thoughts, I don't really like the way the film looks. I know he did a lot of the film not CGI, but it looks very CGI.
Yeah,
and
doesn't it?
Some of the animals, like when the monster is kind of interacting with animals, they're very clearly CGI.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just wasn't a fan of
the wolves and things.
Yeah, the rats. I remember there being very obvious CGI rats in there. And it's too long. I think that's a very kind of common sort of criticism that not the original Frankenstein, but like the one that everyone knows and the one that Del Toro is obviously trying to evoke is the 1931 Frankenstein, which is about 70 minutes long. And this is nearly 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
So in the original, there isn't really any kind of backstory for Victor Frankenstein. There isn't like, oh, he had a bad relationship with his dad
Yeah.
Like, do we really need that? Does that really matter? It's not even really his story anyway. It's more about the monsters.
Yeah.
The film kind of picked up once Jacob Elordi kind of was in the film. He's
Yeah.
very good. He's the best thing in the film, I would say.
Agree. And I have to say, there was an exhibition in London, a free exhibition at Selfridges, and it was like all of the costumes and props and prosthetics from Frankenstein. And it was possibly better than the movie because some of the stuff there was amazing. So I think it might have finished now. You may have missed it if you wanted to check it out.
Boo.
But yeah, it was absolutely incredible. I mean, some of the costumes were just absolutely stunning.
Also, I mean, I think Del Toro now is kind of a bit like Tim Burton.
Yeah.
I mean, as in, he clearly has one story that he likes, which is the monsters aren't really the bad people. The men, human beings, are the monsters.
Yeah.
Because he's used that a few times now.
Absolutely.
Going back, I think even as far as Kronos, maybe he used that trope. And it's very much like him now. That's kind of his story in all his films.
Very true.
And it's maybe a bit overdone now.
Yeah, I mean, two of his more recent films I love as well, Nightmare Alley and Shape of Water, they both also have that as a through line. So
yeah, which is, yeah. So, yeah, I think maybe he needs to do something else now.
Yeah. What else have you been watching?
Yeah, so we also watched Black Phone 2, which I'm just going to say I wasn't a fan of. Again, for kind of similar reasons. It's too long.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one. I really like Scott Derrickson, who's the director. He wrote Sinister, which I really love as well. I think it's so dark and creepy. So as a writer and a director, I really like him. I wasn't that keen on the first Black Phone. I have to say, I think I preferred this one just for the atmosphere.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. The Black Phone, I watched it because it was popular, and you know, when you're into horror, you kind of do end up watching a lot of this stuff, even if it doesn't really interest you. And I thought it was broadly fine. It's not amazing and it's not terrible. It's just kind of there. It's just very kind of typical kind of Blumhousey type horror.
I mean, that is true as well. I kind of wished it could have been more, but I would also say, like, my review of this was if Nightmare on Elm Street, Sinister, and Stranger Things had a fucked up Blumhouse baby. I thought it was really creepy, so I was surprised that I preferred this to the first one and quite liked it as like a mainstream horror release.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that pretty much. It's trying to do Nightmare on Elm Street, and there's a couple of bits that do sort of work. I think the bits that I found the most interesting are where he is evoking himself, like Scott Derrickson, I mean. So where he's evoking Sinister, like that kind of filmmaking style, which is very similar to the found footage in Sinister. That worked quite well. So he's not a terrible director. It's just, I don't know. I don't think his heart was really in this.
No.
Is the impression I get. It's like the first one made a lot of money. Then Jason Blum was like, we need more money. Please make a sequel. So
I really liked the environment that this was set in. I thought that was very atmospheric and creepy, just like cabin in the snow-covered woods and icy lake, and, you know, it was very atmospheric.
Yeah, so I thought it was all right, but yeah, I don't know. It made a lot of money, so there might be a third one, although if you've seen it, not really sure how that's going to work, but they somehow did it with this one. So
yeah. What else have you been watching, Greg?
So let's talk about Shelby Oaks.
Yes, I watched that at the cinema.
So this is directed by Chris Stuckman, who is a YouTuber. I've been watching Chris Stuckman's channel for many years.
Nice.
And he's been talking for a long time about, you know, trying to make this film Shelby Oaks. It's an idea that him and his wife had, and they've been trying to put this together for a long time. So brief story, he made the film, he crowdfunded it, and it was released at a film festival. And then it got picked up by Neon, and Mike Flanagan came on board as the executive producer.
Which is always a good thing.
Well, yeah.
Love Flanagan's work.
And then, yeah, it's come out, and the response has been not great for the most part. So what did you think of it, first of all?
I heard that there was mixed reviews on this, and I knew that sort of background of where it came from, and I didn't have high expectations for it. But I'd also heard some people saying that this was like a modern day Blair Witch Project, and that it was sort of reinventing what the Blair Witch had achieved at the time, and that it was really scary. I watched it, and I think on the big screen in the cinema, there's a fair few like creepy scares. It was okay, but I did feel like it was kind of middling for me, but for the standard that we have. But maybe that's because it's lower budget, indie, produced. So yeah, I mean, I gave it 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. If any of our listeners follow on Letterboxd, you'll have seen that. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. What did you think?
I think it's not a good sign where you're making a film about a YouTube channel and the YouTube channel is called Paranormal Paranoids, which is a terrible name.
That is terrible. Very
and people
cheesy.
say it about 100 times, it feels like, in the space of the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. So,
the main thing is, I think, because I watched this a fair few weeks ago, I mean, it was probably over a month now, and when things are forgettable, I think that's not a good sign, and I feel like I've forgotten most of what happened already, so...
Yeah, I think... So, for anyone who hasn't seen the film, the first, 25 minutes or so is done in, a mockumentary style. He's very clearly influenced by films like Lake Mungo and Noroi the Curse, except those films are much better than this.
Oh.
That's the problem. So it comes across as, what's that expression? Like he's reheating their nachos or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, it's like a poor imitation of that, basically. And then the rest of the film is like a standard film and it's fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the worst thing I've ever seen or anything like that. Maybe if he did another film, he would have obviously learned a lot of lessons from this. So I'd be interested more to see kind of what he does next now. Now it's not some passion project that he's been trying to get off the ground for years.
Yeah, good luck to him. I've got a couple more on the list that I've watched.
Okay.
I don't know if they're the same as yours, but I went to see Keeper, the new Osgood Perkins movie.
Right.
Which he did not write, but he did direct. And I think I could tell that he didn't write it, to be honest. I didn't like it as much as his other movies, but I still had a really good time watching this.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, Rhea has given The Monkey 5 out of 5 on Letterboxd and watched it twice, at least, from what I can see.
I loved it. And Keeper, I gave this 4 out of 5, which is pretty high, and I've seen some very mixed reviews online. Some people absolutely hated this movie, and I can kind of see why, because it's quite abstract and sort of, atmospheric, abstract. There is quite a bit of CGI in it. But yeah, overall, I liked it. I think there's a lot of stuff in it that's maybe unexplained and it needs to be down to your imagination, but I didn't mind that. So
Okay. What else did you say that you've seen?
Also watched this new one, which is doing the rounds, which is very difficult to get, called Meat Kills.
Yes, I've also seen this.
Yeah, and I have to say, I actually really enjoyed this.
Yeah, okay, so for those who don't know, because it's not a film that's out in cinemas, this is a Dutch film, and Bloody Disgusting, I think, have released it, or it's through Screambox, or anyway, they kind of heavily promoted it on their website, and they advertise it as it's a return to the days of Hortension and Inside and Frontiers.
So basically French
extremity.
Yes,
basically.
French extremity horror cinema. It's directed by Martin Smits. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, I mean, Dutch, so yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's basically torture porn, but it was quite refreshing. It had this sort of vegan activist plot.
Yeah, this probably was quite meaningful for you.
Yeah, as a vegan. But yeah, I expected the activists to be done really badly and actually wasn't too bad. I mean, they were a little bit cheesy in places, but
yeah,
it could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse. They were okay.
But overall, I thought there was a lot of fun to be had in this setting of a family butcher's farm with all the things that they use to kill the animals, then turned on the human beings that have been using them on the animals. And yeah, I won't spoil it, but I'll let you use your imagination about what might happen there.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I would say is kind of a good thing about this film, it's got a very streamlined plot. Basically, it's there's this woman who's been working at this farm undercover, double agent for these activists and blow the whistle on their inhumane practices for the pigs. And the patriarch of this family is not a very nice man, I'll just say that.
Yeah.
and then they kind of try and free the animals or something like that. I don't know why they're there. Can't remember. Sorry.
Yeah, they go to free the animals, and then it's too late when they get there.
Bad things happen.
Yeah, bad things happen.
Shit goes down, as they
I
say.
actually thought, because it was pretty brutal, I quite like movies like that where you see things that you've not seen before, and yeah, I thought it was pretty well put together, quite scary and shocking. And
yeah, it's a bit of a throwback. The one thing I will say, and maybe I'm being a bit harsh on this, is that I didn't find it kind of brutal enough, if anything.
Interesting.
Like
I thought it was just brutal enough, so.
Okay, a lot of the gore just kind of took place like off screen, so you didn't really see a lot apart from there's a couple of kills where yes, it is quite gory, but it's not really gory enough, and it's not really mean-spirited enough, which sounds like a weird criticism to have. But if you're going to evoke films like Frontiers, which is what this really reminded me of, because that also mostly takes place on a farm.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it didn't go far enough for my liking, I'll just say that much.
Yeah, they could have gone a bit harder with it, and a lot of it was off screen. I think that probably took place in my head. So.
Yeah. I mean, there is some mean-spiritedness about it, won't spoil it. But yeah, I know, it could have been more mean-spirited, let's put it that way.
I thought for an indie film, it was great anyway. Much preferred it to Shelby Oaks, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And there was one film that I've seen that I just quickly wanted to mention, because I've just said I've been watching a lot of films. I've been catching up.
Yeah.
One film
I'd love to see it.
that has come out on Shudder that I actually thought was quite good for what it was is a film called The Surrender, and it's directed by Julia Max.
Nice.
Do you remember a film from a few years ago that I actually mentioned in my top 10 films of 2017 called A Dark Song with Steve Oram?
Yes, love Steve Oram.
So this is very similar to that. So the story of the film it's quite simple. So you've got a elderly couple and their adult daughter all living together. The dad has dementia. He dies very early in the film. It's like about 10 or 15 minutes in the film. And the mother doesn't accept this. And she pays some weird guy who she met through a friend who we don't see, because it's one of those sorts of films, to come and basically do a ritual to bring him back to life, which costs a lot of money. And bad things happen. Nothing good ever comes of these sorts of like spiritual ritual type things.
That sounds interesting. I'll definitely have to add that to my to watch list before the end of the year.
Yeah, so what I like about this is, it's obviously very indie, so it's mostly set in one location and it's not got a huge cast and all that kind of stuff. But I actually thought the relationship between the mother and the daughter was quite believable, and the dialogue was quite good for a film of this type. So that kind of made the film kind of more engaging than, let's just say, other films on a similar level.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the best film ever or anything, and it's got a similar issue to A Dark Song as well, more in like the second half of the film. I'll just say that. But I mean, I thought it was worth a watch. Again, not very long. It's only about 90 minutes.
I'll give that one a watch.
If you've got a Shudder subscription, give that one a watch.
Yeah, I will give that one a watch. It sounds really good, actually. And beside that, when we released our last episode on Halloween, I was actually doing an all-day 12-hour film marathon at the Nickel. So shout out to Dom at the Nickel again, which was all surprise movies, all old movies, and some video nasties that we have covered on the show. And it ended on the peak, the climax of the evening was Black Devil Doll from Hell, 1981, which was directed by Chester Novel Turner, and that movie is crazy and absolutely hilarious. Virgin on, basically soft porn. And yeah, absolutely such a weird movie, but watched with an audience, with friends, was hilarious. So yeah, this is one of the most random movies I've seen in a long time. So that was a hoot.
Yeah, and you, if you've seen our Instagram account, or if you follow Rhea on Instagram, you'd have seen that you were wearing a Halloween costume, weren't you?
Yeah, one of my favourite movies of the year, Weapons, went as Aunt Gladys.
Yes, it is awesome. So yeah, if you don't follow us on Instagram, you get little nuggets like that.
Yeah.
So worth a follow for that alone.
Well, yeah, so that's all I've been watching, really. That's all the new stuff.
Cool. So yeah, stay tuned. Give it a month or so. And you'll find out our thoughts on, all of horror in 2025. Very exciting stuff. Very looking forward to that one.
I'm looking forward to that.
But we're going to move on to the main topic of the show today, which are slashers set around the festive period.
Yeah.
Now,
in 1980, though.
yes, in 1980, which is a very fascinating year that I'm going to talk about in a bit. Now, Christmas horror, to some people, no names mentioned, is a controversial subject. So what are your thoughts on Christmas and horror? Do they go together?
I really like Christmas horror films because I think it's quite a fun genre hybrid. And I'm a fan of them. I think they're a lot of fun. I prefer it sometimes to watching just the good old cheery Christmas movies. I like one that's got a bit of a dark edge to it. Tom Dennecook, not so much.
No. So in his words...
Our friend.
Yeah, so in his words, and I did ask him about this because this is a stance he's had for a very long time, it's essentially, it's a gimmick and people who are not very good filmmakers use it to kind of just sell their films, essentially, which I kind of see on some levels because particularly on like the low budget independent level, I remember there was a show we did where you talked about a film called Red Christmas.
Yeah.
Where that sounded like one of those films where it's like, we're going to make a film, we're going to set it at Christmas so that every year people will go, oh, let's watch this Christmas horror film.
Maybe, but I don't know. It's quite a fun hybrid. I mean, I've written one myself, which may very well get made. So it's not that festive, but it's just set at that time.
Now, that's a very interesting segue that you brought up there. So is a film a Christmas film only if it's set during Christmas and Christmas is kind of part of the plot? So, for example, like Krampus. Now, that's very clearly Christmas horror. No one's going to deny that. And that's very specific to Christmas. But I was surprised that sort of films that are mentioned under Christmas horror that I don't think of as Christmas horror. So, like The Lodge.
Yeah.
Is that a Christmas horror film? I'm not really sure.
Not really. But there are some other ones. I mean, Die Hard is the big one that everyone argues is a Christmas film. But there are like plenty of other ones as well.
Well, like Terrifier 3, for example. So that is set during Christmas.
Yeah, definitely a Christmas movie. And you've got like P2. I think that's a Christmas movie.
I've seen that a while ago. I don't remember much about it. But
Anna and the Apocalypse.
Yeah, sure.
Dead End, Rare Exports, Violent Night.
Yeah, sure. So, yes.
Batman Returns, that's Christmas.
Batman Returns, yeah. Sure.
Gremlins 2. Yeah. You can tell I like these.
Yeah, sure. So,
Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, wow. Throwing all the names out there.
Yeah, I like it.
But this is something that's kind of come up more in the last few years because there was a spate of Christmas horror films during the 80s, particularly Christmas slashers, which we are going to go into, which were really influenced by Black Christmas. That's kind of where that comes from.
Yeah.
But I think kind of post the mid-2010s, post Krampus really, and Rare Exports, there have been more of them.
Yeah.
And some of them are quite good. Like Better Watch Out is quite good from memory.
I liked Violent Night.
Yeah, or like Joe Begas, we talked about him, his new film. He released a film called Christmas Bloody Christmas, which is okay. And then
Santa's Sleigh.
Yeah.
That was one.
Or your favourite, Jack Frost.
Oh, yeah. Hilarious. I mean, some of these movies are just such a lot of fun. But then there are also the classic ones like Gremlins 1 and 2 that I love watching at Christmas time.
Yeah. Which obviously ties into slashers. So, as I mentioned, Black Christmas, to me, that's the first proper slasher film. And that's set at Christmas. And that led to other, let's say, slasher films that came out around a holiday. So there's Christmas Evil, which we're going to talk about in a sec. And there's the main one, which is Silent Night, Deadly Night.
It's also very on topic because there's a remake of that coming out in a couple of weeks.
There is, with the guy from Halloween Ends as Billy. So yeah, I'm curious because there's already been a remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is just called Silent Night and had Malcolm McDowell in it. And I thought it was quite fun.
Yeah.
There's a few others from like the early 80s. So there's Don't Open Till Christmas, which is a British film. And then there's a film directed by David Hess, which is very random, which is called To All a Good Night, which is set at a university campus and it's during the Christmas holiday. And again, it's someone dressed as Santa killing people, which is a very popular topic, apparently, back then. Okay, so we like Christmas horror films then, basically, particularly Christmas slashers. So the main film we're going to talk about on the show today is Christmas Evil, which is directed by Lewis Jackson. Now, he doesn't like the name Christmas Evil for his film because he didn't come up with it. As happened with a few films during the 80s, the distributor of the film decided to give it the name Christmas Evil against his wishes. His preferred title is You Better Watch Out.
Which they actually used for another movie later on, didn't they?
Yeah, so Better Watch Out. They Facebooked it. They got rid of the U, basically, to make it cleaner. So, yeah, quite an interesting film, I think. What is the synopsis of this one?
Synopsis is: a toy factory worker mentally scarred as a child upon learning Santa Claus is not real, suffers a nervous breakdown after being belittled at work and embarks on a Yuletide killing spree. So this is basically I saw mommy kissing Santa Claus vibes, but taken to the extreme, because that's what happens when he's like scarred for life as a kid. So
yeah, pretty much. Although I don't know. So there's certain things about this which are, I think, subjective in the story, mostly in the second half of the film.
Yeah.
Because this is one of those films, it gets miscategorized as a slasher. It's not really a slasher, I would say. It's more similar to something like Driller Killer, or it's kind of got the same sort of vibe as something like Maniac, or that film that we reviewed, Don't Go in the House.
Yeah.
Except not as nihilistic as those films. They're quite kind of grimy. It's not really like that, but it's mostly just, it's about a guy who lives by himself and who clearly loves Christmas too much.
I would say it's the unraveling of a madman. It had very much Driller Killer vibes to it. And it's 51 minutes till the first death. So a very slow burn. 51 minutes. I mean, the film's only about an hour and a half.
It's, about 85 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those kind of films. So, yeah, if you're watching this expecting like a high body count, not really going to get that. No. And most of the deaths happen in one scene.
Yeah.
Bar one.
Yeah.
So it's not really that. So it is very, very heavily reliant on the performance of your main character. So the main character, whose name is Harry, is played by Brandon Maggart, who, weird little thing, is he is Fiona Apple's dad, which is very strange.
Okay, random.
Yeah. What did you think of Brandon Maggart's performance?
Yeah, I thought it was decent. There was one part that stuck in my head, the part when he actually glued the beard on and he couldn't get it off, and he was very sort of frantic. And, towards the end when it was reaching its peak and he was having arguments with his brother and stuff, it was quite convincing. There were some parts when I thought, not sure about this, but some parts were played really well. So it was a bit of a mixed bag for me.
Yeah, sure. I think for a film of this type, I think it does kind of work quite well. Because, as I said, a lot of it is subjective. So bits of it we know are definitely real, obviously, where he kills people.
Yeah.
And obviously he had a difficult relationship with his brother.
Yeah.
Although, again, the parts at the beginning, are they actually what happened, or is that just his memory of what happened?
Don't know.
Because it could go either way. It depends on how you view the film. Like
I think I viewed it as it actually happened because, don't know, it just seemed like an outsider's view, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and like where he quote unquote becomes Santa Claus. Again, has he actually become Santa Claus? And he's seeing, like, obviously, look, the very, very end part of the film, that's the best bit of the film, by the way, is like, okay, that's obviously not happened. It's just clearly in his mind.
Yeah.
But how much of what's happened before is in his mind as well?
Yeah.
So is the beard actually stuck to his face? Or is it just he's just convinced himself that he is Santa Claus now?
Yeah, maybe. He's quite a good seamstress as well.
Yeah, sure.
Kudos to him. But I also found it quite funny that he works in a toy factory. This is all very convenient, and it's called Jolly Dream Toy Factory.
Yeah, sure.
And he's like the manager of it, so he's got all his elves, making the toys and stuff.
And they don't respect him at all.
No, and it's a real Driller Killer, like slow burn, like eroding his mental health away kind of vibes. And the sort of shrine on the wall for Santa in his house is quite funny as well. It's a bit mad, bit over the top, but Yeah, I appreciated it. I thought it wasn't a bad movie, you know.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the bits I found, I guess they're funny because you wouldn't be able to do this now, is where he's watching children through binoculars. And then he's literally like checking, are they being naughty or nice? And there's this naughty kid who's got a hilarious name. Another film with a character with a hilarious name in it.
Moss.
What a name.
I noticed that as well. I was like,
Moss Garcia. What a name.
What the hell? And he's like reading porno mags at his age. It must be about 8 or something.
Yeah, he's very young. Yeah.
Penthouse magazine.
Yeah.
And what was it he said? Questionable hygiene.
Yeah, questionable hygiene. I remember this. But yeah, he has literally got books of naughty and nice children.
Yeah.
And he's like making notes of Moss, naughty, impure thoughts, like you said, which is hilariously funny.
Also, did you see that part where... So the mum gets really angry at him and she slaps him on the face and it seems so real because the kid really yelps out in pain. And I was thinking that looks real. I think she really slapped him.
Maybe maybe just like lay that shit in. Like, don't hold back.
I mean, the kid could be an incredible actor, but I'm going to guess probably not, you know, on their budget.
Yeah, working with children is quite difficult.
Yeah.
Basically.
But yeah, the binoculars watching the children, I was like, oof, yeah, this is well dodged. You wouldn't be able to do that now.
Yeah. Do you think he's a sympathetic character? The main character, not Moss. No, he's clearly not sympathetic in the slightest because he is quite put upon. It's not quite like Clint Howard in Evil Speak, where like he's clearly being bullied by other people and he's got a satanic computer to get revenge on them. It's like... Like, he's clearly a bit weird, but is he a bad person? I mean, not really.
I think he's deluded. He lives in his own delusion. He's an obsessive character. And yeah, I just more felt sorry for him. He sort of like hums different Christmas films all the way through, which started off quite well. And then in the end sort of felt a little bit annoying, like maybe too many, you know. But,
yeah, lots of that.
I felt sorry for him and I felt like towards the end when he was really taking all those toys to the kids and donating and protecting the kids, it did feel, you know, genuinely really sad because he's trying to do a good thing. But yeah, it's a mixed bag again, really, like I say. Like some bits were very convincing, some bits were quite ham.
Yeah, sure. I think for a movie of this level, I think it's quite good to me. 1980 is a very interesting year because 1980 is like the last year where we get a lot of these kind of films and then you never really see them again.
Yeah.
Where they've got the sort of 70s aesthetic where they're kind of quite grimy and they're quite dark and they're quite, I guess, not fun to watch in a lot of ways.
I actually like that grimy, dark aesthetic. I just thought that what for a slasher, there's not enough killings in it. It takes far too long and the pacing was a big issue. But aside from that, I liked the look of this movie.
Yeah, so from a body count perspective, there's not really a lot to count.
Yeah.
Is there?
But as it's my job, that I shall tell you that there were 4. Well, really there were 5 because our killer, it's implied that he dies at the end, but we're not really sure, so we'll assume he will, but I'm not going to count that because, yeah, if it's a suicide and he drives his van off a cliff, which has got a sled painted on the side, which I thought was really cool, actually, really fun concept in the movie. But there are 4 people that he kills, so I think that's the death count. 4.
Yeah, and they're like, apart from Frank, who kind of deserved it based on what happened in the film.
Yeah.
The other 3 people who kills are just random people who are just a bit condescending towards him. That was their only crime.
Yeah, and he spent ages crafting that toy soldier with the metal spike, and then he just sort of used an axe more anyway. So.
Yeah, which looked like a very tiny axe as well. Looked very like the way it was edited was quite cool, but I suppose if you're expecting like Tom Savini levels, it's not going to come across that well. But I don't know, I thought it worked quite well.
I think technically it's a hatchet rather than an axe, but it looks like an axe to me anyway. So small axe. But yeah, incredible how that man Frank's wife just was sound asleep while all this was happening.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's a few things. So he's obviously, it's a Harry, this is when he's in his full sort of Santa outfit. It's Christmas Eve at this point. He tries to get down the chimney. He doesn't fit down the chimney.
Oh, that bit I found that really uncomfortable and like awkward to watch. And it made me feel so sorry for him. It's like, oh, his plan's foiled. And I was wondering what the hell is going to happen? Because what happens if you get stuck and you just can't get out?
Well, yeah.
It's quite scary.
It does kind of make you wonder, because that is the story of Santa Claus, isn't it? It's like he comes down the chimney. So some strange man entering your house to leave you presents and then go, and it's like, okay, like,
Yeah.
You feed him like cookies and milk. So.
Yeah, because I mean, we've all seen those things, like those internet memes that, Morbid Knowledge or whatever that drift about online.
Right.
There's like different Twitter accounts and things, and you'll see the odd one where it's like, oh, this person disappeared and they were found 10 years later, like upside down in a chimney.
Sure, yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, that could have been this guy.
Yeah, sure, yeah. No, I know what you're referring to, yeah. Yeah, no, it could have been him, but like he was too fat to get down the chimney in the first place, so he just had to find a window that he could get in.
Which he did,
He does, yeah. People not locking their windows properly in 1980.
Yeah, it was quite common then. But yeah, I mean, overall, I thought this was like, it was kind of like a thriller in a lot of ways. It was like a psychotic like thriller. There was quite a nice build to it and a lot of insanity and a decent atmosphere. So yeah, not terrible. Quite enjoyed watching it.
Yeah, sure. I enjoyed watching it. Like, I've seen it before. And I think when you kind of know what's going to happen, the experience is kind of more enjoyable, because, yeah, if you approach this as, I'm going to see like a movie with lots of murders in it, you're not going to get that. You are just going to get like this guy who clearly didn't have a lot of scruples to begin with, lose more of those scruples, and suddenly decide, no, I am literally going to be Santa Claus now. And then start kind of like, he's not entirely evil. This is kind of the difference between this and Silent Night, Deadly Night, is that he's trying to be literally Santa. So it's like, oh, hi kids, you've been good, here are presents.
Yeah.
And it's like, this man has been really bad, so I'm going to stab him in the eye.
Yeah. And it ends up being like a bit of a Santa witch hunt at the end, where all the town
they all have torches somehow.
Yeah, on like staff's on fire, and they're like, oh, Santa's wrecked our lives. And yeah, so it's interesting.
No, if it was now, they would just have phones and a gun, basically. Yeah, I'm not sure where they would have got torches from. That could bring back to Frankenstein, like, that's clearly kind of echoing that sort of vibe.
There was also like quite a fun bit where they had a lineup of Santas, a police lineup of Santas.
Yes, that was very funny.
That was hilarious.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
They got them to repeat that, which was really funny. And then at the end, there was like a jazz version of Jingle Bells, which was also really fun.
So is that in the bar? When he gets dragged into that bar and there are people celebrating Christmas.
Yeah.
So very interesting. There's a guy, he's one of the people who drags him in, is Mark Margolis, who's in Pi and Requiem for a Dream. Like, Darren Aronofsky used him in loads of his films. So he was someone I recognised. You may also recognise the actor who plays Harry's brother from The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile. He plays an older guy in those films. Yeah,
found him quite irritating in this movie, which is obviously on purpose. But
sure. I don't know, his character is a bit annoying, but that's kind of, I think, the point is that it's so weird. He says like, oh, I thought I would love having an older brother when I was growing up. And it's like, okay. So it's like, how messed up was his childhood? Bear in mind, the start of the film, like, he sees Mummy kissing Santa Claus, as you said, and cuts himself.
Yeah, on a snow globe, which was really funny.
It's like, okay.
Caught you out to use a smash snow globe. There's another bit as well, like when his brother gets really worried about him at the end, and then when he goes to his brother's house, and then he goes, I think he puts him in his van, and you think that his brother's killed him, but then he just fucking wakes up and punches him in the face.
Yeah.
It made me laugh so much. I was like, yeah, get him. That was awesome. So yeah, I mean, I thought the ending was quite fun. Leaves it open to your imagination. It had like good like Santa vibe to it, and
I do like how he painted the sleigh on the side of his van.
Oh yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Pretty awesome. I think like more Santas should bring that back, I think.
Yeah, and the way he was practicing like his Merry Christmas to all a good night, and ho 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 and all that, he was really getting into it, very passionate, and it was like, it definitely was like psychotic vibes to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so to end this is one of John Waters' favourite films, by the way.
Really?
I think this is his favourite Christmas film. He is one of the people who actually does the commentary on the Blu-ray version of this film, and it's quite interesting.
Nice.
I think it appeals to his sensibility, which I always find awesome.
Yeah.
Do you prefer this or Silent Night, Deadly Night? Because Silent Night, Deadly Night is basically a less interesting version of this film to me. And what I find interesting is Silent Night, Deadly Night, for those who don't know, when that film was released in America, people lost their shit. How dare you make a killer Santa Claus movie? Like, Santa Claus is for the children. And yeah, the Christian moralists and parents groups in America who have not gone away have arguably gotten much worse. But anyway, they basically killed that film rather.
Oh.
Whereas this came out not really to any fanfare at all. I think it didn't really have a lot of distribution.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that film got loads of shit for what is essentially the same story as this, including sort of a prologue, which is quite, sexually deviant. I'll just say that much. More sexually deviant, if anything. And it's literally a guy dressed as Santa going, punish, naughty, garbage day. No, that's the second film. But it's I would say a less interesting version of this film. So I think I slightly prefer this film. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I think so. I need to do a rewatch of Silent Night, Deadly Night, but I think I prefer Silent Night, Deadly Night. But I do need to do a rewatch. But that sticks in my mind as being more my favourite one.
Silent Night, Deadly Night is sleazier because it's got Linnea Quigley.
Yeah.
So say no more about that. But yeah, I don't know. So if you've not seen it, it's the right time of year to watch it. I'll just say that much. With your Christmas horror.
Judge for yourself.
Now, if you want to do that, you can buy this online from Amazon and Fandango if you're in America. And if you just want to stream it, it's available on Shudder in the UK right now. And it's also available elsewhere on Amazon, Plex, Paramount Plus, Eternal Family, Screenbox, Mama 2, Foursome, Roku, and a bunch of other places that I couldn't even bother to write down because there's just so many of them.
Oh, awesome.
So, yeah, you don't really have an excuse not to watch
it. Yeah, I mean, gotta love Shudder as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And if you want to buy it on Blu-ray, it's available from Vinegar Syndrome and here in the UK on 88 Films. So it's another way to watch it.
Excellent.
And the other film we're going to talk about on the show today is not a Section 3 video nasty. Maybe it should have been, because I would argue this is maybe more closer to what I would consider to be a Section 3 video nasty compared to the last film. So we've had Christmas Evil. So now, obviously, a week later, you're going to have New Year's Evil.
Of course.
Which is directed by Emma Alston. I think this is one of his only films. He also directed a film called Demon Warp, which I've never seen.
I haven't seen that one either.
Sounds not great, I'll be honest. One cool thing about this is it was released by Canon. So it's produced by Menachem Golem and Johann Globus. So that, if you love Canon films, this is one of their early films that they released in America. And it's also from 1980. It's got that same 1980 vibe. And Rhea's going to tell us all about it.
The synopsis is, during New Year's celebrations, a killer calls a disc jockey as he murders one reveller at midnight in each time zone.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, this is a new wave punk rock slasher again with a resident band that do the soundtrack or a couple of key hits in the movie. And there's a lot to like about that.
Yeah, so one of the things that we've established since we've come back is Rhea loves music in films. She absolutely loves it, particularly a slasher film with a band in it.
Yeah, they always have a punk band as well, which is awesome.
Yeah, so we've not got one but two bands.
And it's the LA punk scene as well, which makes it even cooler. So
yes, so we have Shadow, who performed the awesome title song in this film, which is amazing. It's one of my favourite slasher songs of all time.
I loved it.
A couple of other songs as well. Weird thing. So the song New Year's Evil is a metal song, but then they play other songs that are different musically. One song they play is a punk song. One song is a smooth kind of jazz song.
Yeah.
during one bit. And then there's another band called Made in Japan.
Yeah.
which is
towards the end, yeah.
Yeah, and they have a song which is called Banzai, which is Okay. Probably wouldn't be able to get away with that now, but never mind. So yeah, this is so 80s. Like,
Yeah.
literally within the first minute or two of this film, you can just see the fashion sense
Oh my
is
God.
hideous in this film.
Yeah, so it's that hideous that I actually kind of loved it. So the lead character, Diane, who is actually like the host of the radio show, and they're filming it for TV. She's called Blaze. That's her stage name. They describe her as the first lady of punk rock or the first lady of rock. She's got like the most pink blusher on that I've ever seen in my life. And it's such 80s, like LA punk vibes. Think like Boy George level, Culture Club
really
levels of 80s makeup. Like she's got pink eyebrows, red hair, pink blush that's like just pure pigment, pink lipstick, and then she's got this like metallic orange PVC dress on, which was so terrible. I actually loved it. And then her friend Yvonne, she has like afro braided hair, but like Boy George, she's got all those beads in it, like tons of colourful beads, gold beads in it, like very sort of Culture Club vibes. And like the soundtrack was pretty awesome, and the rest of the music in it, like in the background, was just kind of dodgy and a bit crappy, but makes it quite fun. So.
Yeah. So basically, this show is essentially like Jules Holland's Hootenanny, but with like obviously a woman hosting, and it's very kind of 80s punk / new wave.
Yeah, and it's got like a closed studio, so they had like the New Year's Eve party where they film it, and everybody goes in there, and that's a party, and they sort of shut it off, and it's like a nightclub but filmed.
But unlike the Hootenanny, it's filmed live.
Yeah.
They don't film it in like September and then pretend it's New Year's Eve or whatever. It's hilarious. By the way, someone should make that. I should make a Jules Holland Hootenanny like slasher film. Set in one place, can do it. Probably for about £500,000. So yeah, what were your thoughts on this?
At first I wasn't that into it. I was like, oh, I don't think this is going to be that great. But as it got sort of more into the movie, the action, the kills, and especially like the pinnacle towards the end, I actually thought it was pretty scary. I thought it was really fun. I had a laugh watching this. I haven't actually seen this one before. I'd seen Christmas Evil before, but I hadn't seen New Year's Evil. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I have actually seen this on New Year's Eve more than once to bring in the new year. I did it, in fact, New Year's Eve 2024. So yeah, it felt right. It felt like the right time. So I've actually seen this a few times. Yeah, this one, it's not a great film, but it's kind of fun. It's only about 85 minutes long. The killer, so unlike other slasher films that we've talked about, we know who the killer is, but we just don't know who they are, if that makes sense. So we know what the killer looks like, basically, but the twist is who they are, which I think is fairly obvious. Yeah,
there's a bit too much exposition in the dialogue, which gives it away way too fast.
Yeah, literally in the first 5 minutes of the film, it's like, oh, it's that guy. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and then you can see that she's got a son, and he's got an issue as well. So that's going somewhere. You can see that that's headed somewhere in the plot.
Now, is it just me? Am I being harsh? Is she far too young to be his mum?
Yes and no, because back then, no, she wouldn't have been too young because it's the 80s. So as a person with quite young parents, I'm like...
But like, she could be like 5 years older than the actor who's playing her son. It's more my point. It's like, really? Like, I don't know. I always found that a bit weird.
Maybe 10. He's like baby-faced, and she could get away with she looks good for her age, that kind of...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I thought the voice distorter was pretty funny because people did use that back then. And
I am evil.
And also, I couldn't take that seriously now that Austin Powers is a thing, because basically all of his lines in it that's called himself evil reminds me of Dr. Evil, which is a total spoof now, but that didn't exist when this film was made. So
yeah, I wonder, if you don't watch wrestling, this won't mean anything to you. There is a wrestler called Danhausen, who is a guy who wears face paint, basically. And his gimmick is he's very nice and very evil. And he sort of talks like this guy, but just in a kind of more jolly way. So I wonder if he's seen this film and is sort of doing like, oh, I'm very nice, I'm very evil. It's like that sort of voice. So, yeah, I don't know.
I found those bits like quite funny, quite painful to watch because I was like, it doesn't really work now, but it possibly would have been a bit scary back
It would have worked in 1980 because they're using payphones and it's not like great quality, I'm sure. So like, spoiler, but like, that's your husband. How do you not recognize like his voice, even if he is doing like a fake voice?
Yeah, they even ask that. The police are like, are there any characteristics of someone you might recognize? It's like, could this be any more obvious, like who you're implying it is? Treating the viewers like idiots.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And the other thing that I thought was a bit of a fault in this, I've not worked it out because I don't think you need to, but would he be able to drive that quickly from state to state and get there on time for midnight? Because I'm sure there was like an hour between each one.
Right. So I don't think he's doing that. I think he is just committing the murders so it's set in California.
Oh, so he wasn't traveling.
No.
Oh, okay, because it implied that it's like per state, and I was thinking, is he supposed to be getting to these other states?
Yeah, sure. Unless he was, literally like traveling at the speed of light to like these different states. No. I believe he's just committing these murders nearby.
Because some of them, the victims were like randoms. It was quite hard to tell where they were. So
yeah, there is a weird kind of thing that doesn't make sense. When he does his first call, he says, "Oh, I'm going to kill people that you know." He only kills one person she knows.
Yeah.
Which is the assistant, Yvonne.
And then after that, it's like randoms.
I thought like when he killed the woman at the sanatorium, I thought that was going to end up being like someone that Diane knows.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just some random woman. And again, this comes up in like random bit of exposition at the end of the film. Apparently he was in that sanatorium.
Yeah.
And they don't recognize him.
They don't recognize him. And he's got like, for each killing, he's got like a different disguise.
Disguises are so funny.
They're so funny. The one with the fake mustache had me howling. And then at the end, the big reveal was that he's like dressed as a priest and he's using all these lines that are like, "Oh, by God, I will,
bless be with you, my son."
Yeah, and all that kind of thing. It's like, in the name of God, I need to do this. And,
so funny. Yeah. So the fake moustache is the best bit because I'm sure it's deliberate. It's wonky.
Yeah.
At different bits as well. And like,
she doesn't even notice it.
I think that's one of the issues with the film.
Yeah, that made me laugh. And also, the height of technology back then was like this hi-fi tape recorder. And he even says at one point, "Ooh, modern technology.
Instant replay."
Yeah, instant replay for modern technology. It's like, ooh, get you, Mr. Technology.
Wow, Mr. Cutting Edge, honestly. Look at you, Elon Musk over here, fucking hell. When he wasn't, Elon Musk today.
I thought one of the things that was quite poignant was I'm skipping more towards the end and we'll come back a bit, but like when they said that like the Zodiac killer, he was performative and he wanted to sort of have the glory of all these kills, I thought that worked better as the underlying sort of reason for why he was doing things. Because him hating on his wife and having her as the final victim didn't really make that much sense.
Yeah, so that's one of the issues with like this type of film. And look, I enjoy this film. It's not great. It's kind of enjoyable. I enjoy more the first half than the second half. But anyway, the big issue with the film is that the women in the film aren't given any agency. Yeah. They're just dumb.
Yeah.
So it's this guy who apparently can just fool any woman just in a disguise.
And he plies them with booze, etc., and they just fall for it.
Yeah, sure. Like, so he manages to seduce this nurse at the sanatorium in literally about 5 minutes, if that, and then he's able to kill her very quickly.
And the idea is that he records it and he plays it back to the wife on the phone.
Yeah, and the two women, it's mostly the one woman and her friend.
Yeah.
They're presented as, well, she's really annoying, which is, I don't think, a good look. I'm not saying it's very how misogynistic. Dare you do this? But it's like,
It's very distastefully misogynistic and like, misguided. And there's even that Dumb Blonde song in it, which really annoyed me as well.
I did think of you when that came up because it's like, Ria's going to hate this big time. Yeah. If the modus operandi just comes down to, I hate women, I wasn't treated very well by my mother, all women are whores, all women are like bad, selfish, it's just like, okay, right, fine, you've lost me now.
He basically says towards the end, all women are bad. And he says, oh, like when he was in the sanatorium, I had to ask you for pocket money and I had to ask your assistant Yvonne for my spending money because you weren't giving it to me. And also my son has had the same treatment. It's like, mate, if she's out there being the breadwinner, of course she has to dish the money out to you. So, yeah, I mean, more power to her.
Yeah, sure. It's just, just stuff like that. It's just not much. And also, like, ultimately, like, no one actually kills him. He kills himself.
Yeah, he's properly lost the plot.
He doesn't
by
get
the end.
any kind of comeuppance. Like,
No.
Unfortunately, like, Diane, like, she's just there to be kind of a victim. And then she gets tied up to an elevator, which is very overly elaborate. Like,
it's really elaborate, but I was actually quite impressed. I thought that part was quite scary. And
I mean, it is in
quite
isolation. Well. It's not to go all pedantic, but like, yeah, it's like, it does seem like, again, you would need to know how the elevators work. It's just, it seems like a lot for one person to be able to do without being spotted. There's a lot of like, there's police, but this guy's still able to get into the building without being spotted. Yeah,
would she even last 30 seconds riding that elevator up there with all the wires, machinery and everything? Potentially not. No. I mean, it's really dangerous.
Oh yeah, like if you're traveling at certain speed, like you'd knocked out probably, or even like the whiplash effect would probably do something to you as well. And
she would get caught on something, or any number of things could happen where that wouldn't be that smooth a ride, basically.
No, and he's able to get in some gunfight with the police. There's like about 6 policemen shooting at him, and he's just able to kind of hold his own and get away.
He shoots one of the policemen, and they say like the most kind of calm, like, "Oh, someone get an ambulance," and it's like, there's no drama in that at all. Another part that I thought was hilarious, so funny, was the part where the 2 women that he kills at the dumpster, somehow he then takes them to a children's play park.
Yeah.
One of them is hanging on something which you can't see. I think probably monkey bars or swing or something. And then after that, it tracks through the children's play park a bit more. And the second body slides down the slide backwards and you just see her head. Come down the slide backwards and she's dead, and it's just hilarious. And the other thing was, the black guy working at the booze shop.
Oh yes, that guy was awesome.
Like he was so sad for no reason. It was like,
he was so tall as well. I just couldn't get over how big this guy is. It's like, oh bless you, because she just bought a really expensive bottle of champagne.
But he was like so maudlin for no reason whatsoever. It's like, we know that you understand what's going on in the rest of the script, but if she just walks into a store, you're just going to be normal or happy, or it's New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah. I say, look, this is a fun watch, but there's a couple of things that just irk me. I already mentioned sort of the undertone of the film, which isn't great, and the lack of agency the women characters are given.
Yeah.
I also don't really like the fact that there's not really a lot of gore in this. All the murders kind of just happen off screen somehow. And like you see like the aftermath, you'll see bodies with like blood on them, but it's just kind of very like cheap, lazy kind of like way of doing it. It's just like, oh, okay, they're just dead.
So we actually had 6 deaths in the end, so it's more than Christmas Eve, so it's a slightly higher body count, but still not that many. So like you said, we had Yvonne, who's killed with a knife in the shower. It's not really seen. It's by the killer. You don't know who he is at that point.
Yeah.
Then it's the nurse that he seduces, stabbed with a switchblade by Richard, throat, neck and chest. And then I think they later say that he has a particular killing style where he mutilates the breasts, which is a bit like, Zodiac Killer and things like that, where he gets enjoyment out of that. And they deduced from that the psychosis behind it was that he had mummy issues. And that's why he's maimed the breasts. Sally, she's suffocated with a plastic bag. That's one of the ones by the dumpster. Lisa, pulled into a dumpster and then she slides backwards down the screen, but that's off screen. And she slides backwards down the slide, and then that's off screen. And then he jumps and commits suicide, which is pretty brutal. You don't really see much, but the implication of it's quite brutal.
Yeah.
So I guess there's 5 murders and his own suicide, which makes 6. And then towards the end, we get his son Derek's taking over, and there's supposedly an ambulance driver that's been murdered, and he's driving the ambulance with his dad in the back, who's already dead. And we don't see that happen either. So there's a lot there that is cut out and off screen, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, the best death is the one with the plastic bag. That's kind of the most brutal, because you can actually sort of see what's going on. And also it's like, yeah, I can realistically see like what it would be like to be suffocated by a plastic bag.
Yeah.
All the stuff with Derek, though, I'm like, this is just kind of lame.
Yeah,
to be honest.
The fact that he wanted to carve his own way with his acting work and he didn't want his mum's help just seemed kind of bratty, really. It's like, who cares?
Not even that. I mean more the stuff like him putting like pantyhose on his head.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm crazy. Look at me.
Did he put a safety pin through his ear?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, sure.
Drew a bit of blood and it's like, oh, wow, so crazy.
Yeah, and now it's like, oh, I'm going to start killing people now. So I was like, all right, cool story, bro. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, just those parts of the films are just a bit naff to me. It's just like, all right, cool, whatever. But yeah, I mean, the parts with, Richard and his disguises, we haven't talked about like him. Well, we have talked about him being disguised as a priest, but we haven't talked about him going to a drive-in.
Oh, yeah.
Where they were screening Blood Feast.
Oh,
or
yeah.
It was meant to be Blood Feast.
And Blood Bath.
Which is another name of a Bay of Blood, but they're not showing those actual films. It's just fake trailers for those films.
Yeah. But I thought it was cool that they gave Blood Feast a mention, because we've covered that one before.
Yes, we have. Back in the day.
So I was like, oh, yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, it was just an excuse to see some breasts, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, although that character doesn't die. That's the one thing I will say, is that she's the one that's able to get away.
Yeah, and just like all due to drunken New Year's Eve party goers that are like stumbling home and sort of get in the way, which was quite fun.
Yeah. But otherwise, I said, look, Richard, this killer, you hear this term Mary Sue. I don't know if there's a male version of a Mary Sue, but basically he's these people, he's overpowered. He's basically like, he's the smartest person in the film. He gets away with everything. He's just better than everyone else, and he can just get away with things, and he never gets his comeuppance. So that bit kind of sucks. It does have that 1980s vibe again. It's got cynical police. Yeah. That's another theme that will come up again.
The kind of policemen that just don't listen to what a woman says and don't believe anything she says and think that they know better.
They just don't care.
The other thing is, when they did that part where they sort of they did like a match cut from Times Square or like the nightclub where they're filming, punks dancing, and they cut to like the sanitarium and the nurses are in there and they've got all these like crazy people in gowns, and I was just like, oh my God, this is so un-PC. You would not be able to do that now.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's only 6 years after One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, so who knows? Like, that was again in the air at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, overall, like I said, look, it's a fine film. I've seen much worse.
I thought it was fun. I enjoyed watching it.
If you're looking for something to watch this New Year's Eve and you want to bring in the new year, I find that I have more fun watching New Year's Evil than going to some party or some very expensive cold night out. So if you are also that way inclined, you can watch it on stream. Now, it's not available in as many places as Christmas Evil. If you're in America, it's available on Fubo, whatever that is, Philo, Paramount Plus, MGM Plus, and Roku. So if you've got a VPN, that might be the way to go to that. And Blu-ray, it's available from Kino Lorber, Region A, and 88 Films, them again, Region B. So
nice. Yeah. I thought it was a really fun watch. I'm glad that I got to see this.
Yeah, it's quite fun. So, I mean, we're both on Letterboxd, again, just to mention this. So I've seen these films before. Christmas Evil is a 3 out of 5. New Year's Evil is 2.5 out of 5. So pretty good, I would say.
So I've got 3 out of 5 for Christmas Evil and 3 out of 5 for New Year's Evil as well. So
oh, wow. Yeah, so that's both good. That's good. That is above average.
Yeah.
So there we go. So
decent rating.
So that's the show for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed listening. And at the end of the last show, we said, we've got no more slasher films. And then we did another show about slasher films. It just, that's the way it goes sometimes. On the next show, we're going to episode 50.
Oh, wow. It's a big one.
It's a big one.
Very excited.
And I'm not going to spoil what we've got, but yes, I think you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's one for everybody the next time.
Yes. So thank you very much for listening, whether that's on Spotify, whether that's on YouTube, on Amazon Music, on Apple. My name is Greg Knox. She is Fend.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Instagram and on Twitter X as Lament Horror.
Yes, and I have been Fend. Thanks again to Greg for being co-host with me. And I am on Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Twitter X as at @Ria_Fend. That's RIA. I'm on Letterboxd too, so give me a follow on there. Drop us any comments on our YouTube or comments wherever you get your podcasts to let us know what you want to see next, or perhaps you've watched something that we've covered that you want to comment on. That'd be awesome.
And if you're looking for things to listen to over the Christmas period, because it's fucking boring over Christmas, once it gets to Boxing Day, I'm like, I've had enough now. Just get me past New Year's Eve. And you want things to do, we're going to have a lot of content coming up on our Instagram page. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, because there's a lot of end of year related stuff coming quite soon. So I'm really looking forward to it, as you can probably tell. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I am also on social media. I'm on Instagram as RevXBM, as REVEXBM. And I'm on Letterboxd and Twitter as Worst Date Movies.
Nice.
And we're going to leave you with the awesome song from New Year's Evil that we mentioned earlier. It's fucking great. It's so good. I've actually already used it as the end song of a previous episode. So yeah.
Amazing.
It's worth playing again because it's so good.
Merry Christmas, and may your suffering be festive.
Ha ha ha.